Hello everyone! Today we're going to talk about the basics of a business phone call. Please listen to the two phone calls. Informal.
Is Mark in?
He's not in right now. Who's calling, please?
It's Chris Gu.
Do you want to leave a message?
Sure. Can you tell him to call me back?
Sure, I'll let him know.
Thanks.
Formal. Good morning, this is Liz Lee of Liz Lee English. How may I help you?
Hello? Can you put me through to Mark, please?
Sure. Please hold while I transfer your call. Sorry to keep you waiting, but I'm afraid he's out of the office today. Would you like to leave a message, or would you like his voicemail?
I'd like to leave him a message, please. Could you tell him that we need to reschedule our sales meeting?
Sure. Could I have your name, please?
It's Chris Gu. Let me spell that for you. C as in cat, H as in house, R for rabbit, I for ice, and S for sugar. My last name is G-U.
Would you mind repeating your last name for me, please?
G-U. G as in good, and U as in umbrella.
Thank you, Mr. Gu. Does Mark have your number?
Yes, he does.
I will let him know that you called, and we'll have him call you back.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Bye. I guess a lot of us have trouble talking over the phone. Maybe because we can't use body language, or maybe because we can't see the facial expressions of the other person. So today, we will go through the basics of a business phone call. When you first make a phone call, you would say, "May I speak to?" "May I speak to?" Or, "Could I speak to?" "Could I speak to?" In an informal situation, you would say, "Is Liz there?" "Is Liz there?" Or, "Is Liz in?" "Is Liz in?" Here's another expression. Could you put me through to? Could you put me through to? Put me through means connect. So when you call a company and you get a switchboard or an operator, they would say, "Thank you for calling ABC. How may I direct your call?" Direct your call means who should I transfer your call to? In this case, you would say, "Could you please put me through to Mr. Chris Gu?" "Could you please put me through to Mr. Chris Gu?" Or, "Could you transfer my call to Mr. Chris Gu, please?" "Could you transfer my call to Mr. Chris Gu, please?" Then they will say, "One moment, please. Please stay on the line." Or, "Please hold while I transfer your call." Or, "Please hold while I put you through." When you first receive a phone call in an informal situation, you would say, "Hello, this is Liz." Note that when I said hello, my tone went up as in hello, not hello, which means, "Yes, who is this?" If it is a formal situation and you're at the office, then you would say, "This is Liz Lee from Liz Lee English. How may I help you?" "This is Liz Lee from Liz Lee English. How may I help you?" Note that we don't say "I am." We use "this is" for phone calls. So in this situation, the caller is requesting to talk to someone else. If you are transferring the call yourself, you would say, "Please hold while I transfer your call." "Please hold while I transfer your call." If the person is unavailable, it would be nice to acknowledge the person for waiting and then give him the news. "Sorry to keep you waiting, but I'm afraid he's out of the office at the moment." "Sorry to keep you waiting, but I'm afraid he's out of the office at the moment." You could use "Sorry to keep you waiting" or "Sorry for the wait." If the person is unavailable, it would be more polite to use "I'm afraid" or "I'm sorry" to give the news. For example, I'm afraid he's on the other line. I'm afraid he's on the other line. I'm afraid he's out of the office. I'm afraid he's out of the office. I'm afraid he's unavailable right now. I'm afraid he's unavailable right now. Or you could use, I'm sorry, but. I'm sorry, but he is unavailable right now. I'm sorry, but he is unavailable right now. It would be a little bit rude if you just say, he's on the other line. Or, he's out of the office right now. Or, he's not available right now. So it would be much better to add, I'm sorry, but, or I'm afraid, before giving news. You would also offer to ask whether the caller would like to leave a message or whether the caller would like to be connected to the person's voicemail. If they choose the latter, then you wouldn't have to take a message. But when we're taking a message, spelling names and addresses are usually very difficult, and a lot of alphabets sound similar over the phone. Especially B, D, T, V, C, and Z, or M and N sounds very similar over the phone. So in order to be clear, it is sometimes very helpful to spell it out for the person. For example, B for boy, or D as in dog. In this case, we would use for or as in to spell the word. So today, we went through the first stages of a business phone call. Let's wrap up. When we first make a phone call, you would say, May I speak to? May I speak to? Could I speak to? Could I speak to? Or, could you put me through to? Could you put me through to? In informal situations, you could say, Is Liz in? Is Liz in? Or, is Liz there? Is Liz there? When you transfer a call, you would say, Please hold while I transfer your call. Please hold while I transfer your call. When you first pick up the phone, you would say, This is Leslie from Leslie English. How may I help you? This is Leslie from Leslie English. How may I help you? When a person is unavailable, you would have to say, I'm sorry, but, or I'm afraid that person is not available right now. I'm sorry, but he is unavailable right now, or I'm sorry, but he is unavailable right now. You would also ask whether the other person would like to leave a message or whether that person would like to be connected to someone's voicemail. In that case, also please try to confirm and check the spelling of names or addresses of the person. Next time, we will look at a situation when you are the person the caller is looking for, and we will go through some expressions appropriate for the situation. Thank you!